Hello, and welcome to Critical Conversations. This whole idea of holding elections during the monsoon season is just madness. The monsoon season is a dangerous and destructive time. During the last monsoon season, dozens lost their lives, tens of thousands were displaced, and billions of ringgit in losses were incurred. It is a time when the machinery of government should be focused on preparing to evacuate flood victims, getting all the plans ready to provide food and shelter for those likely to be affected. To this end, the king himself called upon the nation to brace for heavy rain and extensive flooding. His message couldn't be clearer. Focus on the monsoon and the welfare of the people, not politics. That's what responsible governments do. Already reports are coming in of floods in Selangor, in Kedah, in Negeri Sembilan, in Sabah and Sarawak. And this is only the beginning of the monsoon season. It's going to get far worse in November when voting will take place. But instead of heeding the king's plea, UMNO has stubbornly pushed ahead with its plans to dissolve parliament. Many are asking, why on earth would Prime Minister Ismail Sabri call a general election in the middle of a monsoon season? Ismail says he had to dissolve parliament because 11 of his cabinet colleagues undermined his position by petitioning the king not to agree to dissolve parliament. He is being simply mendacious. Only a few days ago, he insisted that it had not affected his position. The truth is, he was too weak to stand up to Zahid Hamidi. He knows people are now angry and he's trying to shift the blame elsewhere. UMNO must think that the voters are fools, that they can't see through this charade. UMNO President Zahid Hamidi has been pushing for early elections for months now. Remember, this is the same man who even pushed for elections during the height of the COVID pandemic, when people were dying by the hundreds. In fact, he has subjected this nation of ours to months and months of instability and political intrigue. Both he and Najib Tun Razak have gone out of their way to destabilize every government since UMNO lost power in May 2018. And we know why he is doing it. He faces dozens of criminal charges. If convicted, he might spend years in a prison cell. His strategy is simple: capture the government through fresh elections and then put his men in all the right positions to make those charges against him go away. He knows too that once a conviction is handed down, it becomes harder to dismiss the charges. Time is not on his side. To save himself and his cronies, he must act and act quickly. That's why he is so anxious to have immediate elections. But don't take my word for it. Here's how Zahid himself described the situation.
Is now or never. Pilihan raya kali ini is mother of all general election. Kalau kita kecundang, nasib kita lebih buruk daripada PRU ke-14. Bukan saya saja kena charge. Tomat? You are in the waiting list. Tan Sri Vicky, don't laugh. You are also included. What more, Dato' Sri Saravanan? Kasya? they won't forget you. You'll be charged as well. Isham, you don't smile. Bagi mengelakkan ini, kita wajib menang dengan dominan di dalam pilihan raya umum ke-15 ini, saudara-saudari.
There you have it, from the horse's mouth, so to speak. That is what this election is all about. And that, my fellow Malaysians, is why we are having this election in the middle of a monsoon season. It's not about restoring stability. It's not about getting the economy back on track. It's not about helping ordinary folk feed their families or about bringing inflation under control. It's all about saving themselves from prosecution. And they are willing to risk the lives, the homes, and property of voters to get what they want. In fact, they're hoping that it will be so inconvenient to vote during the monsoon season that you will not be able to cast your vote. That's what they want, because they know that a low voter turnout will probably favor them. The question is, how do we, the voters, respond to this dastardly, self-serving scheme by all these unscrupulous politicians who are endangering lives and putting us to great inconvenience just to save themselves? I say that the best way to respond to Zahid Hamidi and his UMNO BN cronies is to turn up to vote no matter what. Walk through water, stand in the rain if necessary, but go out and vote if you can. Let's vote out Zahid Hamidi and UMNO BN once and for all. We have to let them know that they cannot disrespect us, the voters, this way.